YouTube world, everybody outside of the YouTube world. It is I, your conquistadork, Javier, coming at you with the mightiest panel of them all. We have Y290. What's going on, Chad?
Yo, Javi, what is up? I'm super stoked to get Oprah Boys Book Club episode.
Oprah Boys?
Just fired up. Punisher, welcome back, Frank. Just beautiful comic masterpiece. That's all I'm going to say. Especially this issue we're about to dive in today. I'm super excited. And as people started hopping in the chat for all the 90 holics out there, YouTube is 90. And congrats, Javi, because you're almost at that 100 subscribers, man. You're what, like 11 subscribers away, my friend. So we got to get you there, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much. And before we'll get to that, announcements coming in, but before those announcements, continuing on with the mightiest panel of them all, we have D-Heid. What's going on, D-Heid?
Yo, not much. Just psyched to be talking about my favorite thing in the world, Garth Ennis, and the Punisher written by Garth Ennis. Yeah, I'm in it. Let's rock and roll. And yep, let's do it. That's all I gotta say.
Let's do it. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We got Stay Puff. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining us. We are talking about the Punisher series, Welcome Back, Frank, by Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, and Jimmy Palmiotti on the inks. And the Conquistadorks, we are doing a segment on Oprah Boys Book Club.
Oprah Boys?
Where we dive deep into these books, books that we haven't read or we haven't been introduced to, or books that we kind of just want to reread and see if they're good, dive deep into them. And this was a recommendation by D-Heid himself.
Yes, sir.
I never read The Punisher, and when I started reading this, I instantly became a fan. Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, another creative team that I never really been introduced to, but just super grateful for you, D-Heid, for letting me know about this and for letting me read it. I got introduced to it and I wanted to read it. So yeah, that's what Oprah Boys Book Club is all about, where we dive deep into these series.
Yeah, man, I'm super stoked to hop in this. Garth Ennis just absolutely killing everything in this. I will say this is my first introduction into his Punisher run. I have not read this, so once again, just like Javi, hop into this for the first time, my first introduction to it. I'm just super excited to talk about it because I am loving everything about it. Just confirming everything I love about Frank Castle and why he's one of my favorite characters, not just as the Punisher, but also as Cosmic Ghost Rider. So I guess whenever you want to, Javi, we can just go ahead, hop into it. I can flip to that first page if you want here.
Yeah, let's go right into it, man. Let's dive right into it. We issue one left off, right? Issue one left off with Carlo Nucci, who is known as Ma Nucci's number one son, and Ma Nucci and the Nucci family, of course, is the villains
family.
What's up?
They're the main crime family.
Yeah, of course. The main crime family in New York that's going on right now that Frank has been targeting. And issue one ended with the Punisher holding this guy off of the Empire State Building. And that inner monologue by Garth Ennis, so good, where Frank's talking about being a vessel for the angels, like this killer for divinity, and Garth Ennis just throwing all of that down the table, down the drain, and just being like, no, like, I kill because people are bad.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm here.
Crime kill family.
Yeah.
Crime kill crime.
And I mean, I guess, jumping a little head, But no, definitely. Like once Detective Soap, right? If I'm not correct.
Yep.
Yeah, Detective Soap.
Yeah, once he gets brought on, and he's trying to figure. I guess he gets that assistant where he's trying to figure out what Frank's motive is, and he's like, "What do you mean? What his motive is? It's he kills criminals. Like there's no other motive that he has. Like, but we need to stop this psychopath because he's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, just one of those things that I was just like, oh, this, just great dialogue once again, and yeah, Punisher being Punisher, going straight after the family's top guys right off the bat. Of course it opens up with the whole police department just like on edge, so to speak, because everything that's been going on, and then you slowly
flip to the next page. Yeah.
Well, the next page. Well, this was
that's where we get like the introduction of Soap, where
we get him by name.
By name.
Not yet. No, that it's a little later. This is where they kind of just they're trying to just figure out everything that I guess they do. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's all good. Like he's like, get me Soap, because he's not necessarily the best person at his job, but he's the best man for this job in a way.
Right. The captain of the police force, the commissioner, it seems like the mayor, and all of these like these top dogs that are running the government, or like at least the civil government in New York City. They're all on the phone, like this conference call, and they're all kind of yelling back and forth at each other. You see the captain of the police force hang up, and Manucci is down their throats. Manucci, I guess, is still, and this is like some social commentary, of course. Manucci is still although she is a crime, like this criminal ringleader.
Oh yeah, head of a crime family.
Yeah, this head of a crime family. She has obviously a lot of money. She can pay a lot of people out, and she's using the police force to try and go after Frank Castle. Well, not Frank Castle, go after the Punisher.
Yeah.
Which is
they are the same person at this point in the story. Like this is like long after the Punisher and Frank Castle have merged into, they are the same thing.
Yeah, and of course it has that like that Dark Knight, kind of gritty New York environment, where you have like Harvey Dent and just like that lower type of government, just like tension between, what am I supposed to be doing? Am I doing the right thing type of thing? And, the captain of the police force, he hangs up the phone. He's with the commissioner, and they're like, they're like, crap, what do we do? And it's very like, kind of ironic, because they themselves are having bad luck.
Yeah, and they're big on and they don't mind the Punisher themselves. The cops like them.
So,
we'll get into that. But like the captain and the commissioner, they're like, they have bad luck. They're screwed right now. Yeah. And who do they go after to try and solve everything? They go to Soap. Yeah. Detective Soap.
I just don't want to get in trouble. I don't know how long we can keep something up.
Yeah, true.
So that's why I was like flipping back and forth, and I think if we just show the cover, we're good. But no, I can go back to that second page.
We can show it off on if on our books, if anything. But yeah, after Detective Soap is kind of called in, we get this get the meetup of the Guns for Hire.
Yeah, and I kind of jumped the gun earlier. I'm sorry on that, but this page right here, it's one of my favorites, man. Like it just as soon as it like,
dude, Steve Dillon's art on this character, Joe Malizia, I believe his name is.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
And the way that he portrays each of the Guns for Hire kind of differently. I like the cowboy guy. He's kind of
bro,
and smirk on his face.
It's like the perfect little rogues gallery of scumbags.
And then the best part is like who's lurking. Like when I got that was my favorite, man. In plain sight. and just
Try it. It works.
just beautiful. So of course we got this meeting going down, and
Right.
we all know who everyone's after. Pretty much, it's
Right.
The gangs, the police themselves, they're all after the Punisher.
Well,
And
we have this contrast. I guess if you were to see it in the book itself, it's this contrast between the police that are going after Frank and then the criminals that are going after Frank.
Yeah,
So
good
it's
call.
it's done on purpose, I want to say, because they get the police going after Frank, but of course Manucci also has her people going after Frank. And we get this character, I guess you can call him like this wannabe tough guy,
Yeah. Just perfect kind of, yeah.
that perfect kind of smug face, trying to gather up all these gentlemen, if you will, to go after Frank.
Yeah. Oh man, it's such an awesome thing, and just like, hey, this is all you need, and the fact that Frank's just lurking the whole time with that little blue baseball cap, and it's just still him in a big leather jacket, and it works because they're not expecting it.
They're not expecting it, and Frank has some good stealth, man. He's good. He has a disguise kit and everything, and
they could have used a little fake mustache. That would have sent me over the moon. But
we get a little bit of that social commentary where this guy Joe Malizia, Manucci, she has enlisted the aid of the NYPD in locating the Punisher, which as a taxpayer she has the right to do. She's more entitled to do. With their resources, it will be only a matter of time before he's driven to the surface. So they kind of want to get the cops to arrest him, and then the cops
or at least draw him out, like rustle up his nests and get him on the move.
Right, and then once he comes kind of like out in the fields, out in the streets, the criminals will go and get him, go and tag him. And going along with his perfect disguise kit, Chad, if you read the next page.
This one here? Oh, sorry.
We have Frank. He's not just scoping out. He's having dinner. He's on a date.
Yeah. Well, date's putting it loose. That's a point.
I figured that it's a paid date. Like he probably like.
Oh yeah. No. So she says it explicitly.
Just $200, and I had.
All I had to do. He makes sure to spell it with HADDDA instead of had to.
Whoopee doo.
Yeah.
Like did it ever happen in the scowl that he's got on his face?
Yeah. A classic Frank face.
Right there.
That Frank face, bro. That thing, that brings shivers down my spine right there.
I know.
Dillon, just angry, smug look.
Yeah.
And I guess, flipping to that panel before, you can see he's eating dinner with her,
Yeah.
So, and then cuts right back. He got the information he needed, so now they're out. So just classic Punisher right there.
If you scroll up a bit, you see Joe handing out envelopes, and those are a down payment for obviously getting the job done. So Joe hands out the payments. That's enough for Frank. Has his goodbyes.
You got paid.
Frank is a gentleman, okay?
I agree. He doesn't, he didn't expect anything from her.
Right.
Full advantage.
You look at her reaction, that reaction.
Yeah.
But
and it's brilliant how you could get so much of like a small portion of her face reaction. Dillon's that good.
So good, man. Steve Dillon's art just shines through this book. It's a dark book. Shine is probably a bad adjective, but
the dark,
It's really good.
grittiness of the art and the writing, because I think even the writing captures it too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and I mean, I'm not sure if we'll get to issue 3, but even in issue 3, the grittiness in that one, like, to me, like, I was just like, oh, but as the story moves along, eventually they bring in Soap, and I don't want to flip too far, but 2 pages ahead, like, I love how they give him his own office.
Oh yeah, he comes in, they get his name wrong.
Yeah, and they make sure to like really hammer in that he's just like an unlucky, hapless bastard.
Oh yeah, he's
not bad at his job.
He's I guess a scapegoat. I don't know. Like they pick on him.
And not only do they pick on him, just like apparently, as he mentions, just he's had these cases in the palm of his hand, and then things go wrong out of his control, and he just fails miserably, not due to his own fault, but just due to pure bad luck.
Right, and I think Soap. I think he's like a foil maybe to Frank, he serves a purpose. He's not just there because to be this dopey kind of bad detective. No, the way that Garth Ennis writes Detective Soap in is for a purpose. He makes the Punisher shine a little bit more. The way that it's kind of difficult for Soap to track him or even know what his next move is, because that's the whole thing about being a cop and being a detective, is always knowing what your next opponent's move is and trying to beat him to it, or trying to, just figure out before they can execute their next plan. But he's a very well character, very well written character, and I don't know, man. He just the way he's written and Steve Dillon draws him, the mashup is very well.
And it's like you can't, and like he's sent after the Punisher, but it's like you can't arrest a tornado. Like it's like an impossible task that was given to somebody who just probably won't get it done. But he cares. He wants to get it done. It's something he cares about. He cares about his job. He cares about helping people. But as this thing goes on, it gets into Soap more. And Ennis seems to love Soap and used him a lot in other stuff too. But yeah, poor Soap. Like they give him his own office, and there's the boxes of Punisher files, and everybody's just cracking up.
That's exactly what I have it on right now.
They continue this. Garth Ennis keeps hammering down this bad luck. I think he uses it like 3 or 4 times in this page.
Yeah.
Where it's just like not only is Soap, not only does he have bad luck, but just like the situation that everybody's in general, Yeah. And yeah, they get his name wrong. Just right off the introduction, they call him Richard, and he's like, "Oh, it's Martin." And when he walks into his office, it even has a sign that's taped on there with Detective R Soap. They thought his name was Richard, but they're just all kind of laughing at him because of the impossible task that he has to go through. And it's even mentioned, the Soap even says it himself, that the police force loves the Punisher.
Yeah.
The police, he thinks that he says that they feel like he does the job for them, or at least half the job for them.
Yeah, the job they can't do, which is just murdering criminals.
And great segue, because the next page and the next couple of pages is Frank's kill list.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's probably, you're like, yes, this is why I read this book, right?
Well, yeah, this is, to me, this is the icing on the cake, like the cherry on top, man. This is what brings everything together, because now we have justification to everything that I just read.
Yeah.
Okay, I just read all this buildup into who the Punisher is, from bringing Detective Soap in as to trying to catch him, and the Guns for Hire, getting their down payment. So I just read all of this, and now it's here.
Yeah.
Punisher list.
And it's done so perfectly, like a page per kill.
Yeah.
Like, just framed up in 3 different, and the panels are laid out in 3 different ways, each kill. So it's like, it's awesome. It's so good. It's like perfect scene transition, and you get so much out of it. And you get to see Frank's weird sense of humor in this too, from his little captions.
Well, not just Frank's weird sense of humor, but
yeah,
obviously Garth Ennis.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's a monster.
Yeah, just and of course, so I guess we can show it off a little bit. We start getting Frank going after the people who he had scoped out earlier in the issue. So Frank is now going after the Guns for Hire, and he goes after Harry Heck Thornton, the cowboy. He says he's quick, he could dodge a bullet, and then Frank puts 30 rounds in him, or 30 bullets in him.
Yeah.
With it looks like a small Uzi or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
dodged the bullet, but not 30.
Yeah, I thought it was even more funny that he takes the down payment.
Yeah,
he takes the down payment that was given.
Takes the envelope, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Bueller and Haya Lucha Libre in the chat. Bueller, thank you for hopping in, man. Appreciate you. What's a conquistadork?
Well, a conquistadork is it's a group. So it's not just like a single person. It's a group. It's a group of friends that collaborate and get together and talk about comic books. Not only comic books, we also talk about music, art, TV, movies, things like that. But it's a channel. It's a community within a larger community. So thank you for hanging out, Comics with Bueller. Really appreciate you being here. We are talking about Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, and Jimmy Palmiotti's The Punisher, Welcome Back, Frank run, published by Marvel under the Marvel Knights imprint in 2000.
And we just got the first list on the kill list.
All right, we just got like right into the nitty gritty where Frank is going after the people that are supposed to be going after him. So more just poetic irony right there that Garth Ennis is throwing at us. And as D-Heid mentioned, each page is a kill, and it's broken down into 3 panels each. It's kind of like this powers of 3.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's something else. This book is nothing if it's not like cinematically perfect. Like
right.
It's weird, but it's like so perfect and dynamic. It's
so Punisher takes the down, the envelope with the money, and then he moves on into his second kill.
The second kill might be my favorite.
Yeah, you like that one?
It really might be my favorite for sure. The whole dialogue leading up to it and everything like that, just
right,
might be my favorite.
Right. We have Eddie Lau, local boy, martial artist,
black belt
minimum. That's so good, dude. Yeah. Minimum. I know a little or two, Frank, this like inner monologue, just like, yeah, I know a little bit of karate, if you will. But they're in the subway, and Frank just, Chad, you want to take it away?
Yeah, no, it's just, you can show it if you want. So yeah, he just tracks him down in the subway. Because yeah, I have one of my favorite, and it's Splat Foo, and I was dying in my chair when I read that. But even just the face on everyone, and he just that old school Bruce Lee, just like straight to the chest. You know what I mean? Saying like just bam, like didn't need nothing else. He just the Punisher's hands are weapons, as we see here.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because another thing that it's not really mentioned in this book. It was mentioned a little bit in the first book, and it will be mentioned more as we continue reading. But the way that Punisher uses weapons and kind of uses weapons out of nothing or improvises, so good. Splat Foo. Punisher coined it.
Such a dumb joke, but it works so well.
So good.
Yeah,
it is such a corny joke.
I know, but it's
so good.
Oh yeah, no, it nails. It's the joke slaps, but it's just so corny and it's so crazy. He's able to make Ennis is able to make the corniest, dumbest jokes work and effective. He's always been able to do that. He'll do it in everything you read of his. But he slips it in here a little bit. It's insane. It's such a dumb joke.
We get into Tall Joe Small. Which is another very interesting name.
No, it's a perfect kind of criminal name.
Yeah, right. The third and final, I guess you can call it, gun for hire that Punisher goes after. He's guess we get a little bit of a war Punisher from his war days, where I guess Tall Joe Small is a ex-Marine sniper.
Yeah, from Desert Storm.
And then of course Punisher brings up
it wasn't Vietnam.
That ain't no Vietnam.
Yeah. Trouble if that war was. It wasn't Vietnam.
The first panel, yeah.
And then, of course, we get the classic. Just if you don't get them once, gotta reverse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't fight dirty in Vietnam. You don't fight dirty. You do things that make dirty look good.
Money. And the way the little lines right there. Around the car, around the steering wheel, and around Punisher's face. It just adds that extra, it's so subtle, but it adds that extra intimidation and almost like fear factor.
It's just the extra intensity that he's giving.
Perfect.
As he's giving his, his prey right before he takes him down, and just giving that conviction as he says, it wasn't Vietnam, and then giving you that face. Think about that. Yeah. Like, that's how I imagine that.
Yeah, that face, it has you do things that make dirty look good next to it.
And I don't know, there's not really a talk about timeology or chronology in this book, but I feel like this happened all in one night.
Yeah. Sure.
This chunk, yeah.
I feel like it all, he took them all out in one night, and he heard what they were gonna do, and then he did it that same night. To me, that's the way that I get it, because the next scene we get is Detective Soap at the crime scene of Carlo Nucci, who was thrown off the Empire State Building at the end of issue number 1. So Detective Soap is there, and he's looking at the, what do you call this? The outline?
Yeah, the chalk outline.
Yeah.
And it's just a big old splat. Like a big splatted corpse with some hands and legs far away from anything that resembles a body.
Yeah, man. Enough said. You just got to look at that and just you automatically just get a sense of
how bad it was.
Yeah.
And just bro. Chuck kind of just the blood splatter everywhere is the best part, right?
Dude, and so this scene,
Excessive, right?
As cars are driving over it too.
Normally like cone that off, right? Like they
No,
would.
right.
no, they can't. They're like
Yeah.
like
Like the
Derek
cop
said, there's cars.
No, for sure. But like I think like in real, like
In
for
real life.
they wouldn't chalk. They would only chalk the body, and I think they would have like these little, the like small little cones for flippers to like. You guys know what I'm talking about, man. You guys-
That's
Like,
real life, dude. We're talking about.
I know, but I just love the the theatrical
Yeah.
aspect of that to just emphasize like the brutalness of what
Yeah.
was done at the crime scene here. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they
Yeah,
chalk
no.
everything.
Yeah,
The
that,
over exaggeration and like the theatricalness of it all is just very like over the top. It's
yeah, but I think it's even the cops not really trying to catch. It's like, oh, it's the Punisher. It's this. Just trace along the fucking mess. Just trace along it, whatever, put it to rest. Soap's dealing with this, fine. Because he was like, what kind of crime scene is this supposed to be? It's Fifth Avenue. We can't shut it down. He's like, yeah, but you can't. But, and then it shows the outline, like, yeah, but you can't do this. The outline is no good. And it's like, yeah, but what? Look, you want clues? Go talk to the cleanup guys, the stiffs at the morgue. Just completely dismissed them.
just completely and goes back to everything that the Punisher is very liked. He's liked as a vigilante,
Yeah. So it's very much a purposeful, half-assed bad job.
But at the same time, it's also Garth Ennis kind of like, okay,
Hilarious.
these cops are like no goods, the cops are just as scumbaggy as as the criminals can be.
And then
But
being brought in, that's who I couldn't think of his name earlier, but
Bud, we get Buddy Plug.
it's
Bud Plug.
now, Bud.
Buddy Plug, and of course, that was done on purpose.
What was done on purpose?
His name.
People call him Bud. What's funny about Bud Plug?
Bud Plug.
Yeah, of course.
With 2 D's.
Yeah, Bud Plug.
And of course, Soap is actually kind of relieved. He's happy.
Yeah.
For a minute, for like a couple of seconds, he's happy. He's like, "Oh man, I get to like connect with somebody. Somebody's like on a team with me. Like somebody's on board with me." And he's like breaking.
That's all. That's
right.
Yeah.
Breaking it down. Like, yo, we need to do it, and we need to get him. And
no, but then
what does Bud say?
He's all happy,
Yeah.
but yeah, and he's like, Soap's like saying, "Yeah, all right, come on, all right, whatever. We're together. We got it. You want to go get a cup of coffee?" And the Bud Plug is like, "Oh, sorry, I should have explained earlier. I'm not a police officer. I'm a behavioral psychologist."
yeah, and that's when like he's like, and that's when
That face, those 2 expressions. Just Steve Dillon. Killing it, man. Dude.
Yeah, it's so
Detective Soap's reaction to that is just like, my luck.
Yeah. And it's so subtle. They just kind of make him frown a little and like add some lines to his forehead, but it completely changes his demeanor. It's so
Dude,
good.
he looks so sad.
like he was so happy at first.
Yeah.
The truth comes out. Damn it. Now, as good as this was, the next page I think was even better.
Oh yeah, and the next page we get Frank going back.
Yeah. Back to home.
He's back home. He's got his neighbors, checking in with him, and one of his Joan made him some cookies.
Yeah, Joan.
And he explains that he doesn't think it's a good idea to deny the cookies because it might just cause her to go into hysteria. So of course, he takes the cookies and he eats them, and he mentions to her later that they were delicious because she's all like worried. But I love this, and the pizza's coming in. Like,
yeah, I love that. Actually, they're pretty good. Looking at his knife, eating the cookies.
And then he's getting ready to head out, for his night for the next thing on his list, so to speak. And then he's just connecting once again with just guys in his apartment complex. And you got Dave over here, bro. It's just like every time you see Dave, it's just like more and more things are getting done to his face. And he's upset that, the Punisher's not calling him by his name. But what's cool about this, like, I think it's also, as dark as the Punisher is, and he's killing these evil people, and these are it seems to be like outcasts in the world that he's still part of, you know what I'm saying? And it seems like you're getting these moments here, that he's just a normal guy, and he himself is an outcast, and in some weird way he kind of connects with these people even though he wants nothing to do with them, you know what I mean? Right. So I think it's cool how Ennis shines light on that. And, you can definitely see, people connecting to this and just feeling like these guys here at times, I can feel like I've been one of these guys for sure. So just a cool thing I thought Ennis did there, and just bringing in a more human side of, Castle.
Yeah, sure. Great way to put it, man. For sure. Like Garth Ennis just, kind of, I guess, knowing who his audience is to a certain extent. But I don't really think he was thinking of that when he was writing it, but just the way that he made these characters so easily relatable, and then just bringing such a human side to everything that just happened previously.
And like, even just, capturing a character like, Spacker Dave, as he mentions here, as he wants to be referred to as, but especially at the time that this was writing, or this was written in the 2000s, like he's definitely capturing, that whole, new metal era, so to speak. So, definitely being part of the times as well. Like, you got to give Garth Ennis, a nod on that.
Some credit on that for sure.
Like this guy was definitely pulled out of like, a Limp Bizkit concert, crowd, or Korn crowd, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just about how that came off to me. So definitely relevant to the times as well. Awesome. But no, man, I think, like I said, I think the human side of it that, he
has that
Castle on, in this specific part,
Yeah. This next page coming up, we were talking about reactions and stuff earlier, I think has one of my favorite reactions in a comic book ever. Just a reaction panel. Yeah.
I want to go back to when she's giving him the cookies.
Oh yeah.
And he has like, it's like he has that conflict, like she might have hysteria, but if I say yes, she might get attached.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
You're good, man.
Yeah, no, yeah. But he winds up taking them, as we mentioned.
Yeah. But the next page we get before the Spacker Dave, he tells Frank, you're gonna go, he's doing the town, huh?
He goes, it's tempting. That was another great line, just very subtle and almost, in a sense, everyone's like, oh, the Punisher's not that funny. And when he was brought out to be Cosmic Ghost Rider, you can see the flashes of, the funniness that Donny Cates was able to, like, he's captured Frank Castle as Cosmic Ghost Rider as well. Like, he hasn't lost that essence. And I think that shows that, like, when everyone thought, oh, Frank Castle's not funny or whatnot, like, I think this series in particular shuts that up right now. Like, Frank Castle's hilarious, bro. He could be,
Frank Castle, dude, he's a good guy.
And Heid, you just stepped away. But for instance, when he's like, oh, you doing the town? And he's like, it's tempting.
Yeah.
Like, it just, bro, like, classic. Perfect.
Yo, Perry in the chat. What's up, Perry Comics?
Yo, Perry, thank you for here, Perry.
And it's like Punisher lurking right there. Tempting. Him saying it's tempting isn't like funny. It's actually a terrifying thing, but it's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like not a joke. It's a crazy thing.
I know. Well, I laugh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You can't help but laugh, but there's a touch of serious. Like,
for sure.
To Spacker Dave doesn't know any better, but
no,
the Punisher.
Of course,
So we get to this scene where Joe from earlier, who was rounding up the bad guys to go after the Punisher, Joe is in his car scoping out the area, and I love it. The radio broadcast of the car is just going back to earlier on in the issue, how it says a police spokesman assured reporters that their best men were on the job. And that is Detective Soap.
Yeah. And Bud Plug.
And Bud Plug, right? The Punisher is a criminal and he'll be treated like a criminal. So, the police are on top of it apparently, but we have Joe, who is working for Marnucci, kind of scoping out the area for Frank, he's waiting on the 3 who he had just hired.
Yeah, and then this is awesome because, he makes his move. As I mentioned before, he was getting ready to head out to the next thing on his list. And then there's that expression right there. Just bam. And then what I love about this is that Frank, he tells Joe, like, yo, you need to call Ma right now. And he just, just puts the gun to his face and just makes the call. And he just go ahead from that point on. And he lets it be known.
He first tells him to lose the peace. That's the first thing he tells him.
Yeah.
Lose the peace. Lose the peace, which is get rid of your gun. So he throws the gun out the window, and then he's like, okay, call your boss on the phone, put her on speaker. On the car phone, excuse me. This was when like car phones were kind of like a bougie thing.
Well, actually, car phones are probably just going out at about this time.
Well, it's 2000, so no, it's probably Bluetooth was just coming in. No, we'll just go. So no, and then it's me and the Punisher, and she is like, "I'm coming for you, Ma Nucci," right there. I love that panel in specific, bro, and the face, the expression that Dillon captures right there. That he's serious, bro, and he's coming after Ma. He don't give a damn if you're Ma Ganucci right now, bro. He's coming at you.
He could be anybody else on the other line. It don't matter who it is. He would still have that same tone and that same just confidence with him. No hesitation whatsoever. And we kind of touched on this on the first episode of Oprah Boys Book Club. He's not asking any questions. He's just going right after the crime.
Yeah.
He's going where the crime is and just ending it,
And then this is, just how he gets rid of his prey here.
Yeah.
He tells him to get out. And he's like, what? You got to be crazy. As he sees.
I like how the speedometer is going up. I really like that. And just Frank is like weaving in and out of traffic. Probably some New York bridge or something. And Joe is kind of like begging, like,
for crying out loud, you got to give me a chance,
like,
and then
he's like, kind of like what Joe is doing here is he's kind of testing Punisher, or I guess Garth Ennis would be testing the limits of Punisher's intentions. Punisher doesn't care, man.
Yep. And they showed in that next panel. I know I jumped a little early, but that next panel he definitely doesn't care because it tells him to get out.
Yeah.
And then
it's either a bullet to the head or get out of the car. Which one would you rather?
I'm hopping out. There might be a chance I might live, even though I'm probably not living either way. But there might be a chance, so I'm hopping out. And then sure enough, bro.
Yeah. And then
I love that. You get all that, Ma? Because, he was still on the phone with her as he was doing all that.
Right. Yeah, Marnucci was still on the car speakerphone while this was all going on, so she could hear all of this going on. And what did Punisher say?
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And then
the next page is Garth Ennis loves doing this, having people like get all their teeth knocked out or their nose ripped off or their tongue ripped out, and then writing it like phonetically.
And then as soon as he thought he might
He's like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I made it. I'm alive. But it's written like he got no teeth. His face and nose are all messed up.
Oh man, I did. Yeah, that's a very good thing to point out because it's, you could miss that for sure. You might just be reading that and might think it's just gibberish, but it's just Garth Ennis just like how Derek said, trying to phonetically sound out how you would speak when your teeth have just been knocked out of you and you've just been thrown out of a car purposely yourself.
Yeah, and the truck took him out, Perry, for sure. And then I love this next, panel here. Maganucci screaming, "Blue murder by now. The guns will go into the armory, the limo in the Hudson. Almost the end of a rich full day." Because that's the only thing that I guess gets the Punisher going. He don't care about money or anything like that. Like the more criminals and kills he can get in, the richer he is in life. And that's just a beautiful, beautiful line by Ennis right there. I love it.
The more criminals he can get off the street, the more, like you said, the more richer he is, the more satisfied he is, the more he thinks he did something good or something purposeful, not necessarily good.
Yeah, and then then we cut to the incredible part.
This is all happening in like the AM, I guess I would want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this, man, because this is when the book starts to take that even darker turn.
Yeah, we get the epilogue.
If it wasn't dark enough already, and we have this father here, hearing the confession of what it seemed to be like, of a gangster, just telling him, the evil crimes that he's committed. And this is like, I don't know if you guys don't mind me flipping, but he just freaks out, man. And this is just some incredible Steve Dillon work right here, man. Just once again, the expression, everything that's going on, and it's just capturing, him as a priest going mad, bro. Like, love it. And I know I'm like jumping back and forth between these things, but
this is pretty much the end anyway.
Yeah, it's the epilogue. We get Punisher.
Well, I guess I'm a whole. Oh, let me see. My bad.
Punisher.
I want to show that last page. Sorry.
So apparently the car that he was in with Joe had a whole bunch of, as Joe likes to call it, a trunk load of ordnance. So money and guns, I assume. Punisher throws the car or the limo into the Hudson, the river, and it's just like the guns will go in the armory. Like he takes all their stuff yet again. So it's very interesting. You're like, you know how Punisher gets all his like either money or like tech.
He just takes it from people he kills and then puts it into his war. Like he's not profiting from it. He's just putting it all into his war. Like
So we get the almost the end of a rich full day, which kicks us off at issue number 3, which we'll be doing next week. I'm about doing it next week.
Let's do it.
Next week, Thursday, and usually every Thursday. We might be alternating. I will be putting up a schedule coming into the future. We will be doing Oprah Boys Book Club, still talking about Welcome Back, Frank, issue number 3 next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Catch us there.
Hey, I was just going to say, if you can, just show this last page. And just once again, the dark and grittiness of this as like this book wraps up and leaves you kind of like, yo, what the hell just happened here? And then, you have this priest that just went crazy and, oh, God, forgive me. Like, I've done it again, and you're like, what? So just awesome stuff once again by Ennis and Dillon.
That scene, that panel right there with the statue.
And with the red, the sunlight, but it's like red coming in,
Oh man, just so
capturing
good.
the blood and the, just
So good.
Yep. So
We get the priest epilogue. The priest epilogue, it starts throwing in this B plot into Welcome Back Frank, which starts this Welcome Back Frank in its entirety is 12 issues. So during these 12 issues, you get more of a development of this priest character who is almost like a act of, like killing for Jesus, killing for in the name of holy.
Yeah, he's a religious vigilante. Like
there you go. Yeah. A religious vigilante, and that B plot of this priest gets developed more in the later issues, and as we show off the cover to issue 3.
That next week, or a little more into that next week, but also just a little teaser of next week. Just, I will say this, issue 3, whew,
yeah,
great stuff. And as you guys can get the little teaser, you get a little Daredevil action. And who doesn't love some Punisher Daredevil interaction? So stay tuned for next Thursday, Oprah Boys Book Club. Oprah Boys!
And
Oprah
yeah,
Boys.
that issue 3, that's such a good Daredevil Punisher story. It's so good. It's perfect. I love it. I love it so much.
That's right. Thank Oprah Boys Book Club on the Conquistadork channel, where we dive into certain series and talk about them with the boys.
Deep dives. Deep dive with the boys.
Great stuff tonight, guys.
Thank you, everybody in the Conquistador comic book chat. We had Stay Puff in here earlier. We got Highly a Comic Book Bro, Comics with Bueller, Perry Comics, #Lurkin, Course 90MF Comics, and D-Heid holding it down. Thank you guys, the mightiest panel of them all.
JW Statues, thanks for hopping in, brother. If you can't catch the rewind, I know we're wrapping up now, but thank you guys.
JW Statues for hanging out as well. Anything you wanna plug? Anything you got coming up?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing The World According to Frank in probably about 30 to 40 minutes. I'll probably start at 10, do a short show tonight. I'm going to be doing the Back to School issue, and I read it today, and I can't believe one of the short stories in there. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. I can't believe it. I'll give you guys a little teaser. Frank goes to a concert where apparently the people on stage are killing the audience. They're called Warg. Apparently, it's a gore show where where Gore's actually killing the people, and they made a Punisher story in the 90s about that.
That sounds interesting. I'll be there for that for sure.
It's crazy. I couldn't believe what I was reading. But yeah, I'm gonna put together the little slides for that, and yeah, I'll be doing that at about 10. Time 9:06. I'll be doing that at 10.
For sure. Chad, you got anything going on? Y290. I know YouTube is 90.
As you know, Javi, and all the 90-holics know, YouTube is 90. And this Sunday, we got the Sunday night slab down. We might have the first exhibition match as we start trying to set up the #1 contender of the slab down champion. Even though the champion hasn't been crowned yet in the tournament, we're starting to get exhibition matches going. So that way, once we have a champion, we can start having meaningful matches. So you want to make sure you're tuned in this Sunday, because it looks like we have the first exhibition match. But before that, we had the first ever tie in the Sunday night slab down, and we're going to have one book versus one book, winner take all, just death match, floating head covers, Chico, Mr. Garrel versus D-Run Comics to see who wins to go on to the second round. We had the first ever tie on Sunday. We couldn't believe it. So we're bringing you the tiebreaker this Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned because we're going to have 2 awesome matchups for the Sunday night slab down this week. And as you guys all know, every Wednesday on 90MF Comics, you can find Javi, D-Heid, myself, and now Hialeah Comic Bro as we review books that we've read recently. We're talking a little speculation, and we're also giving you everyone's favorite segment in the comic book community, and that's Javi's Variant Corner. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And other than that, Javi, I guess you'll find me here on the Oprah Boys Book Club. Oprah Boys. So thank you for having me, brother.
Thank you guys so much, everybody in the chat as well, for hanging out. I think we're going to call it a night. If you haven't read it, make sure to pick it up. 12-issue maxi series by Marvel, published under the Marvel Knights imprint. The Punisher, Welcome Back, Frank, by Garth Ennis, Steve Dillon, and Jimmy Palmiotti. Like I said, if you haven't picked it up, go pick it up. Go read it. We will be talking about it here every Thursday on Oprah Boys Book Club on the Conquistadork channel. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for hanging out. Peace.
See y'all.
Life with two YouTubers. Thank you for hanging out. Peace.
Catch the replay, brother.
Catch me at 10 on my channel.